Never negotiate against yourself. This is something my dad taught me years and years ago. So back in 2015, my wife and I were at a party in a town where we were living in. Johnny Mac lives there. It's in Haddonfield. And my wife was introduced to someone who lived on her favorite street. You know, my wife let her know and said, "Oh, that's my favorite." And then the lady says, "Hey, do you know Jack Tarditi?" Who's actually a friend of ours, which, she said yes. She said, "Hey, just so you know, he's helping sell a house that is 3 doors down." Of course, my wife freaked out. And so we went and did a tour. And since it was off market and friends of a buddy of mine, I asked if I can get a face-to-face meeting with the owner. Unfortunately, they would not meet, which was like kryptonite to me. I was so pissed. And a piece of my leverage was eliminated. I then put numbers together to fix this dump. And I'm telling you, it was a dump. I mean, it was awful. I had 10 dumpsters of just trash. It was crazy, in order to determine the purchase price. I then requested an in-person meeting to go over the numbers with them, and they said, just send over the proposal. It's like, dang it, I just can't win getting in front of these people. So I did so, and about a week later, they called me and they said, we're going to go put it on the market. They didn't even make a counter offer. So guess what? I mean, she was crying. We were actually out to dinner when I got the call. Cried the entire night. It was the worst. And I said, honey, I'm not going to negotiate against myself. I'm just not going to do it. And then a few weeks go by, and they said, hey, before we go to market, we want to give you one more chance to submit an offer. Now, I found out what they were going to put it on the market for, which was, I think it was like $425,000. So then I put together 4 different options, because the house, again, was a dump. They were hoarders. There was a ton of work that needed to be done before we could even start construction. And out of the 4 options, I offered the highest one, starting at $425K, and then deducting all the fees if they were to go to market, such as realtor commissions, costs for fixing up the property, removing all their trash, blah, blah, blah. The good news was we got the deal. Now, while I did the negotiating and all this time, I never told Lauren, because I just didn't want to deal with the emotions that she has. And then once we agreed, I told her, so I want you to write this down right now.